Like that one? Like that one? So, today we're gonna talk about drum roll of some sort. Star Trek Lower Decks. So I watched it when it first came out, like 4 days ago. I think 4 days ago. And I mean, I knew going into it that it was gonna be nothing like Star Trek whatsoever. But you kind of hope, you optimistically hope that it's gonna not suck. And then when it does, you're like, well, at least I knew it was gonna suck. So, my opinion, I'm just gonna give my opinion right away. I felt it was very, very much more Rick and Morty than Star Trek to begin with. The CalArts art style, the very, very low effort in design. The ship itself it looks like crap. The bridge set is horrible. It's horrific. And the characters are really bad. The whatever passes for action, I felt it was just really, really stupid, really tropey, really repetitive from a bunch of Rick and Morty cartoons. A bunch of the character design looked almost identical. But I watched it. I mean, if you completely divorce it from Star Trek, if you completely treat it as its own thing, sure, it works. Yeah, it's a stupid cartoon with stupid characters getting into stupid trouble and stupid shenanigans. And yes, it deserves to have the word "stupid" said like a stupid amount of times. Because it's not Star Trek. The only things that resemble Star Trek is they're on a starship that sort of looks Starfleet from the outside. They wear the uniforms, and that's about it. I mean, there's the occasional Star Trek physical reference, like the phaser or the bathlet, or when they're on the planet, there you can sort of see the pattern buffers. But other than that, that's basically where it ends. And of course, they're trying to make it look like it's Star Trek or that it's part of the Star Trek universe by having all. It was the main character at the end. There's last 30 seconds of the episode. She just starts spouting name recognition, Kirk, Sulu, Deanna Troi, Worf, just spewing name after name, reference after reference after reference. And it's bad. And the reason I waited 4 days to do this review is because I wanted to go into it with, having all the information. I have my opinion, but I wanted the actual review scores to settle down. So we're gonna hop on over to Rotten Tomatoes. I checked this yesterday. So yesterday, it was 62 average tomato meter, and it was 37% average audience score since then. So, the first 4 days. Now it's settled down to 37. Let's actually see the score detail. Can't actually check the audience score, can you? Anyway, so that's actually, if I go into the episodes listing, then maybe score details, nothing. And okay, so I just noticed something on the lower end here. Rotten Tomatoes are so stupid that they literally put the same 3 cast members twice. there's more cast members than those three people. But that's the main male character, Boimler. And Centendi, I think she plays the Orion looking character, and Mariner, she's the annoying first character, so played by Tawny Newsome. Like, I have no idea who any of these people are. I think Jack Quaid, I think he's done some other cartoons. I have no idea. But anyway, let's get demonetized for sure, so let's just kind of hop around the episode here. So this is the ship. It's called the Cerritos or something like that. It's named after a town in California, because, that's what we name ships after, just random bullshit. It's not like the name is supposed to mean anything. Like, in actual Star Trek, the Enterprise, the flagship of the Federation, was named after... Actually, that's kind of a temporal paradox. I gotta get into that. But it was named after the flagships of Earth's, fleets. So the U.S. Air Force carrier, or is it? I don't know how the U.S. military system works, because I'm in Canada, so we have a different military system, and ours is all sort of intertwined and intercommingled. And like, based on the element, you don't have army assets that are in the air, so you don't have army helicopters and things like that. But I know in the United States, they have different elements doing different things with different vehicles. And anyway, the Enterprise, named after the most famous ship, Enterprise, on Earth. During the DS9 era, all of the smaller craft, all of the runabouts, were named after rivers on Earth. So, big things, like, I think the TNG era and the DOS era, TOS, they named shuttlecraft after, mountain ranges, after famous explorers, after famous battles or things like that. But no, we're just gonna name it after some random town in California, which no one's even heard of. I mean, Cerritos. To me, it sounds like Doritos. But anyway, let's continue and kind of jump around the episode. So the episode takes off with Boimler, that's this dude here, recording a log entry in sort of like a captain's log voice. And then this piece of work comes in, and she starts jumping all over him and harassing him and bullying him. And then, then we have the credits, which don't make any sort of sense. But yeah, the credits are... Let's jump way too far back. They're using the Next Generation font to make it look like it's actually Star Trek, and it fits into the Next Generation era. And okay, one reference here, two references. So the Romulan warbirds and the Borg cubes, they actually do look like what they're supposed to look like for that era. But what happens with the Cerritos would not happen, because they run away. Literally, they turn and run. And you get the 75567. I don't know. So then we get the fresh new science ensign coming on board. And then she meets him. He's her... What is it? Her training liaison or something like that. And then this annoying one is like, oh no, he's he's too by the book. You should come with me to loosen up. Oh, at the beginning though, so at the beginning, when he is recording his captain's log entry, or his log entry rather, she shows up drunk, stinking of booze, and she's carting a whole cart full of weapons that she's stolen from wherever. And then she comes at him with a bat'leth and cuts into his leg, and they both freak. Because, that's a thing that you do on a Starfleet ship as a Starfleet officer. They're not NCMs, they're not non-commissioned members. They're fucking officers. And she's attacking him while drunk, on duty. So this one comes on board, gets introduced to these two. He's trying to do his job, she is constantly fucking up and leading others astray. She is obviously a lesbian, not even kidding. So we get a little bit of a, this looks sort of like an LCARS interface. Then we're introduced to this engineering character who's got a cybernetic implant for some reason. I guess he lost an eye, and now he has this it's not even a visor. It looks like the Jem'Hadar visual display interface just on the one eye. I don't get it, because this is supposed to be in the timeline after the Next Generation and Nemesis, at which point Geordi, who had a visor because he was blind, had that replaced with implants that looked exactly like his regular eye. It was an artificial eye implants. So I don't know why this guy couldn't get that done, because they wouldn't be able to do this weird looking stupid thing. So anyway, they're carting around a bunch of shit. They get her settled in, and for some reason they're staying in a corridor. That doesn't make any sort of sense, because as we've seen on Voyager, during, I think it was Good Shepherd, when Janeway goes on an away mission with the 4 ensigns. Actually, there might have been a lieutenant or something, and she goes on an away mission with people that have never gone on an away mission, that have just fallen through the cracks, and we see I forget the names of the characters, but we see the 2 characters. One of them has actually no, they're both ensigns, and they both have roommates. They're both in a bunk roommate situation, but they have their own quarters. It's a room that has 2 people, one on top of the other, bedwise. These guys, there's 30 of them. They're all ensigns. You can see the ensign hip. But for some reason, they're all staying in a corridor. Then we get some I'm better than anything. Then we go to the holodeck. She shows them random shit. And when she when this one calls up a program of a beach, this one here is she is fascinated by sand. She's, whoa, what is this? And of course there's that sand joke in there. Yeah. And you get that exact feeling that you do watching episode 2 when Anakin starts going on about sand. But first of all, why would she be surprised at the existence of a holodeck? It's not like they've just invented it. It's been something that's been for years and years and years. At the beginning of the Next Generation, which takes place roughly 35 years before this, the holodeck was still relatively new, but since then it's been around for 35 years. And it's been used extensively in Starfleet Academy for training, for simulating things that would otherwise be, too challenging for them to simulate from any sort of logistics point of view. So she should be aware of the holodeck technology, and she should have already, as an ensign, she should have spent 4 years at Starfleet Academy training in various scenarios, so she should have been acquainted with sand. Then we get to Boimler's favorite location, which is the warp core. Then Mariner, I think that's her name, I don't really care. She loads up a program that's literally like a bunch of naked dudes. And then we get to the actual like story of this episode. So 8 minutes and 20 seconds in, we actually get to the actual story. It's called Second Contact. So after first contact has been made, they send someone to make sure that the name of the planet is spelled correctly on the paperwork. Their words, not mine. So this command team beams down, they shake hands or whatever, and then this guy, the commander, he gets stung in the neck by some sort of mosquito or whatever. And then, of course, they beam onto the ship, and he's constantly itching his neck. Because for some reason, the ship does not have biofilters on its transporters. Like, for just practical reason, or for practical sake, a transporter has biofilters with known toxins. And if it detects anything like weird and unknown in the body, it'll screen it out. Unless it's too microscopic or whatever. But like, this thing, it like bites into his neck and just sort of stays there until he gets on the ship, then it blows up and turns him into a zombie. So this guy, he gets called up to the bridge. He is intimidated by basically everyone on the bridge. That's the captain. I have to do that. And then basically they sit in the ready room. For some reason she has an old like police cap. And I think that's supposed to be the Enterprise from the original series. And I have no idea what the hell this is. I think some sort of sailing ship or whatever. Anyway, she's all like, "Well, keep an eye out on Ensign Mariner." Oh, I just noticed it from the freeze frame here. That is just like her mouth is just way round. People don't. I can't even do that when I'm speaking. I can't make my face that round like that. It just comes to the bad artistry. Like just it's horrible art. So she's like, "Yeah, keep an eye on Mariner. She's screwing up." Oh, and I guess that's supposed to be the Doritos or something. It looks bad. And then we go to the mess hall or bar or whatever, where this guy is on a date with this. I think she's supposed to be Trill. I don't know, because like the blotches, they don't look like anything. They just look like she has a skin condition. And they're on a date, and he's very weird about it because he for some reason he has a Vulcan neurosuppressant or emotional inhibitor implant or something, and it's going off at random intervals, and yeah, he's just being really awkward. And then these guys beam onto the planet. These guys are still on a date. And then while they're on a date, the commander blows up and starts biting into people and turning people into zombies. And then these guys are running away. Or actually, no, they're still in the bar. And you can see like there's a guy attacking them. And they're just like, continuing on with their date like nothing's happening. And I mean, they're both in orange, so they're both operations, engineering, or tactical. So they should be well versed in phaser use. So they can stun them. Then this one shows up to sickbay to help, and there's a full-on zombie outbreak going already. And for some reason, I don't get it. So it was the command team. The first officer gets stung. goes upstairs on the ship, and it's not until he's in freaking whatever, their equivalent of 10-4, they haven't named it, that things go off. So he's the only one that's been infected so far before he turns and starts biting others. But there is a crewman that like runs in and he's like, "This is happening all over the ship, and this is currently going on at the same time as the attack in mess hall. So how did these people get infected? Are you telling me that from the second contact team that there was literally like 4 people down there, that out of those 4 people, another 50 or so got bit by mosquitoes and just kept beaming up on the ship, and no one, like not a chief medical officer, looked at any of the transporter records and was like, wait, this is weird, maybe we should screen this out, or no one came to sickbay with any sort of symptoms, and nothing. No. It's completely dumb. So unless they have been getting bit by ticks for, like days, they would not develop these symptoms that rapidly. And unless they had multiple people had gotten bit within this exact same transport cycle, that wouldn't happen like right away, everyone across the ship. Okay, so then we get to the planet with these 2 jokers, and she is talking to the locals here, and she's like about to give them something, and he's convinced that she is giving away Starfleet technology without proper authorization, which she is. He is completely right. She is giving away Starfleet equipment without authorization. He is completely correct. So he essentially places her under arrest. He points a phaser at her, and he's like, "Step aside, you're not doing this." But then, of course, the only thing that he was wrong about is because he thought that she was giving away weapons, that she's actually giving away farm equipment. But still, she is not authorized to give anything. She's not authorized to give shit without command authorization. But because she is black and female, she's strong and correct, and he's just a white male, so he can shut up, and so she tells him to like, you don't understand, they're all about red tape, they're not gonna do anything, I'm just helping. And then he scares away the locals, they go away, and some weird alien spider gets set loose. So she's like, "Oh, I have an idea, let's get out of our uniforms because reasons. Let's get out of our uniforms and we'll, be there in our underwear." I don't know. So this spider thing shows up, and as soon as I saw the squishy gray-white thing with the weird circle mouth thing, red eyes, spewing pink liquid, It looks so much. Actually, you know what? Let's just look it up. Memory, because I haven't looked at the. Actually, no, not memory parasites. No, it was. Pretty sure it was the memory parasites. Is there a shot where they like blow up and like weird circular circular mouth thing with the grayish white kind of thing and pink blood or liquid or whatever? But like it looked so much like the memory parasites to me. So they hop on. Oh, she hops on there, but he gets suckled on. Yeah. "Oh, he's only suckling your moisture. They're not gonna eat you because they're herbivores." Dumb. So yeah, basically spends the next like 8 minutes getting suckled by this freaking thing. Meanwhile, the two people that are on a date, they put on hazmat suits and they go up to. I don't even know. I think it was like there was a ship where hail that they have to go to certain deck certain transporter room or something with the people that have not been infected. So they go out, and they come back inside after having to override the lock. He's wondering why the lock hasn't just recognized them, and she's like, she doesn't give a shit. Because, apparently the lock is supposed to recognize the comm badge, which has never been a thing until, ever, really. It's never been a thing. Because if, it's a huge security issue, within this situation, because if you have a crew member that's infected, they have a comm badge on, they can go anywhere because the comm badge is supposed to override lockdown. So, of course, it's not gonna be tied to that sort of way, especially in a regular situation. Anyway, she doesn't give a shit. He's like, there has to be a diagnostic done. Then this one is helping out in sickbay by holding a guy's heart out of his chest. So this, as you might have mentioned, or you might remember, this guy is the lieutenant commander that we saw previously being all buddy-buddy with the commander. These guys are back on the planet. For some reason, she is just drinking, having a drink with these guys. Well, they're just sort of chilling. They're not helping him at all because, he's a white dude. Of course, when this thing gets tired and spits him out, then they get him. So they get back into the Argo and blah, blah, blah. They get on the ship. And, of course, this Philistine discovers that, the goo that he's covered in is actually the cure because, why the fuck not? We have the cure right there next to the ticks. So they take him to sickbay. This guy is supposed to be Bajoran. I mean, the ridges and the thing, even though the ridges go all the way up his nose when they're supposed to stop there, it's just literally this part that's ridged. They get to sickbay, they devise the cure, they aerosolize it, everyone gets fine, and everyone's back to normal, and these guys are, no one gives a shit about them because they're just ensigns. And then, of course, we find out, big reveal, we find out that she is the annoying one's mother. And he covers for her because he sees that she's kind of a total douchebag. And that's about it. And that's her husband, who's an admiral. So I don't know if that tells you anything. That literally she's their daughter, but neither of them wants to take care of her because she annoys the piss out of them. And then we get to these people again, so he is now I'm not gonna see that other girl again because, there was a diagnostic I thought that was important, she didn't, and yeah. So they get chummy, and he tells her that he covered for her, and then she's all like, oh, now you're cool because you're not following orders and you are being dysfunctional. So now we can be friends. And then for some reason, she keeps unbuttoning her goddamn uniform. And that's basically the episode. And then, then, of course, this is the coming up on this season. So anyway, that is wrong. Flipped to the wrong screen by accident. So, in conclusion, this show sucks. We have, I think, 23 weeks more of this suckage. And, yeah, I'm basically gonna need a lot of drinks to get through this shit if I'm gonna review the next 23 episodes. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you next time whenever the hell I decide to do either a video or a live stream or whatever. And if you're wondering, this shirt that I'm wearing is, well, the symbol here is a Night Guard, which is one of the characters in one of my shows that I'm writing. He's a superhero character. And, well, the show is it's a part of the cinematic universe that I'm planning that's going to have a lot of different moving parts, a lot of different shows, a lot of different genres, a lot of different time eras, all sort of intertwined together. And it's called the Akronverse, because the titular show, Akron, that's the Akron logo. If you are interested in getting any of my memorabilia stuff, I will have it available in my store on my, like if you go on my YouTube channel, I have the little icon to the side. And I'm also gonna probably put some description links underneath here. And I'm still like planning stuff out. I'm gonna do some Akron videos to introduce you guys to the brand, to the show, to the characters. So stay tuned for those. Until next time, I'm just gonna wrap this up because I've been going for a half hour now. The episode itself is like 23 minutes. Yeah, so I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, share, subscribe, comment, and all that good stuff. And I will see you next time. Till then, live long and prosper.